Hi, my name is Suzanne and I'm the founder, creative director and CEO of Soul Art by Suzanne. Season 2 of SoulTalk will premiere in October on the 5th. But leading up to that, we're going to look back and remind ourselves of some of the wonderful conversations we had in SoulTalk Season 1.
What's going on, guys? What's happening?
What's popping? You don't know.
Stephen, you're going to have to explain what that means.
You don't know?
You don't know me, yes.
All right, well, if we do this every week, let me explain to you what you don't know me.
You've never explained it. You've never explained it.
So when somebody asks you a question, how you doing, or what's popping, or what's going on, you don't know mean yeah.
And not no. Okay, makes sense.
Brian gets it.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. That's for right. That. I've been asking you for years.
I just explained it. What else you want to know?
I'm just saying I've been asking you for years, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
How was your week, Stephen Ray?
My week was interesting, to say the least. Let's just say a lot of things happened last week and over the weekend, but God is good. God is very good, and it was a pretty interesting week.
Brian, how was your week?
It's pretty decent.
One to the page. Say that again, please.
It was pretty decent. Why?
I didn't hear what you said. I just said something to Ray.
I feel like there's an inside joke coming out of it.
No, I just said Stephen Ray, monitor the page, and I didn't hear what you said, so.
And I laugh at that. Okay. I'm saying it was pretty decent. Transitioning into vacation mode. So I try to work out what that is.
Oh.
Vacation mode.
And from both studies and work?
Yes, everything.
So you have nothing I don't know?
Nothing at all.
Hey, Brian, I have things for you for the man?
Nothing at all. What kind of thing?
Is this why I cannot get through to you? When you're busy, I can get through to you, and I cannot get through.
Before really and truly, that no calls now go through. Either on WhatsApp or normal.
Do you know that happened to me a couple of days ago? It just kept saying not registered on network, so I had to take out the SIM card and put it back in.
Oh,
yes. One has to do this.
So you might want to try that.
Yeah.
Well, my week was interesting. I'm still trying to finish up my creative project, Brian. So we have work to do. And but there's an extension, though. I think they're going to extend it to the end of August.
Oh.
Because graduation is in January instead of October. So I have a little bit of time. But I don't want to go to the end of August because I want to be prepared, start prepping to go back to school. So I'm coming back to Kingston on the 1st of August to try and, sort stuff out. Okay, so there's something I need to address before we get into the meat of the matter. I was hoping Renee would be here by now, but let's hope that she will join us momentarily. So something happened last week, which I think I need to address. So I was sitting in my room in the middle of the live last week. We were celebrating Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up to my left. And there in front of me was an unwanted visitor. Now, let me just explain that the room I'm in has mosquito netting all around it. So this guest was on the outside of the net, but that is irrelevant. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I am fearful of these critters. My fear is not a rational fear, it's just a fear. Let me just speak to those of you who are starting to say to me, oh, but it's so small, it's afraid of you. Listen, it doesn't matter. I am afraid of it. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm afraid of it. So I felt the need to remove myself from the presence of it. If you feel the need to judge me, go right ahead and knock yourself out. I don't business.
It's called irrational for a reason, eh?
I don't care. Everybody now knows I have embraced it. So let's just, acknowledge it and put that aside. All who did I laugh and I carry on last week in the Zoom and on the live? Okay. Thank you. I just felt the need to address that and get it out of the way.
It just feels, you know?
Excuse me, Brian?
And how does that make you feel?
Like, me not have to address it again.
Okay.
1-1 and 2-2.
Congrats.
Address it to the whole world right now. Yes, I'm afraid of them. It's not rational. Nothing that you say will make sense to me, and let's move on.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Yes, because, you know, I'm just saying. Yes, I know I live in the tropics. Yes, I know they're all over the place. I am aware of all of these things. It's okay. All right. So we have a very interesting conversation to talk about today, but today we're going to talk about gospel music. And you might say to yourself, well, that's not a, you know, why are we talking about music? Well, apparently there has been a discussion that's been going on for a few years about this line between sacred and secular. If and when does gospel music cross that line? Is there such a line? Should there be such a line? What is the problem with gospel artists using all at their disposal to create gospel music? Why can't we just use whatever is there and do whatever we want to do? You know, gospel music is played in social settings. Should we be using secular sounding music to be spreading the message? What do you think?
Say that again?
Should we be using secular sounding music to be spreading the gospel message?
Oh.
Brian, look like you have something to say, man.
Now, the way you want to do so, that means you have something to say.
No, may I listen up? May I listen? May I have all to say? Yes, me listening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's just that I am kind of torn on this issue. It has been discussed on so many different platforms, in so many different ways, and so many different times. And I'm kind of on both sides, so to speak. Kind of so.
Pick a side, Ray. Pick a side.
No. Just you have to hear me out first.
I see who you will serve. And mama.
What I'm saying is that I see the merit in both sides. So I just want to hear what you have to say. You know?
What is this?
You know what I mean? I see the merit in both sides. I agree with some points while I disagree with a lot of others from both ends. So what do you say, Brian?
I think the secular should remain secular and the spiritual should remain spiritual, or the holy, or if you want to call it gospel.
So, you know, from you said that now, I'm going to go right into it. What do you mean by spiritual versus secular?
And I don't know, because it not got work up anyways.
Telephone ring.
Hello?
What's happening here? What is going on?
No, sir.
Stepmother called me.
I'm sorry, what?
And I'm assuming it's important, but we can't get through.
Who is calling you?
Stepmother.
Ah, okay. Yeah. She's probably calling you to tell you that, to make sure that you pick the right side of this argument. Stephen, what are your thoughts? Sorry, go ahead, B.
Yes, I know. What you say?
All right, so here's my thing. A couple. All right, let me tell you why we're having this conversation. There are a couple of things that have been swirling around. There was this video, and I don't have it, but I suspect that we're going to be doing part 2 of this conversation next week. So we are going to be doing part 2. I'll try to have the video ready for next week. But there was a video being circulated that was brought to my attention again recently with a woman in church I Am a Warrior was playing and everybody was worshiping, and her worship included a lot of gyrations that seemed to be a little bit worldly, and it created a little bit of a buzz.
Just say the woman was twerking. Just say it. She were twerk. Just.
You know, I don't even know what twerking really is. So.
Hey, you know, one of her body.
She was gyrating, right? No. That sparked a conversation which took us to a discussion about back in my day, when if you went to the club, if you never play Move to the Left in the Name of Jesus, no, not lie. If you never play Stomp by Kirk Franklin, you're not saying nothing, right? So that was like gospel music right in the middle of thing. And then now there was Beenie Man with Move to the Left in the Name of Jesus and Shake That Booty That Jesus Gave You, which everybody up in arms both and all kind of something. And then more recently, Chosen a song to a dance hall. The original song and the rhythm was, let us say, you know, and people had an issue with it. And so here we come now. Does secular music have a place within the church? What do I mean by secular music is a very good question, Stephen Ray, because you know, music as in rhythm. So if you have a rhythm that is a dancehall rhythm and slap song upon the rhythm, and you take that rhythm and you put a gospel message on it, is that appropriate? Should we be using things that can be associated with things that are decidedly not Christian? Should we be using those things to spread the message? Should we, and we can go back as far as when dancehall music, I remember back in the day at my place of work, where dancehall music and soca music were not considered appropriate for the institution. Forget about what the message or the contents was, just dancehall music generally and soca music generally, no. Now you have soca gospel and dancehall gospel. So is it appropriate? Is it not appropriate? Why and why not? Brian, I saw you shaking your head.
I don't think it's appropriate because
I got that from the shaking of the head. So.
Because when you're hearing the dancehall music or the hip hop music, you're automatically going a particular state of being, of consciousness, and that is not necessarily aligned to holiness. When was it? Some birthday weekend, I was on the way to Portland or coming back, one of them. And there were some girls in the vehicle, and we were actually listening to Love 101. And I think it was a hip hop. Was it hip hop? No, probably soca or something like that. And she overheard me talking about how this sound like secular music and it's supposed to be gospel. She's like, "What?" And she said she's just ready for go bubble because it sounds like a nice tune, fishy, look and start whine. Because that's what she felt coming from the music. So in that regard, I feel as if the music was created for a particular purpose, and so our entire being is going to be aligned to that purpose whenever we hear the music.
So, Brian, in that same regard, if I want to put a scenario to you, okay? Let's say I grew up in the world, so to speak. I didn't grow up in a church, never have no Christian influences around me, right? All I heard growing up was dancehall, soca, them kind of things, hip hop and such, R&B and them things. And I fancy myself as a music producer, right? If I only have those influences to guide my decisions when making the music, and let's say I become a Christian after many, many years. If I create a rhythm that gives or sounds like, but it is not, well, let me not say it is not. If I create a rhythm that sounds like hip hop, or it sounds like dancehall, or it sounds like soca, should I not use it? Because it may give somebody else the inclination to start bubbling? for example.
Yes.
So what we're saying basically is I should rewire and get rid of all the influences that I've gotten from when I was younger, coming up in terms of music, and just get rid of it, change my style altogether, because somebody might bubble to it.
And what are you going to do to it? What did you used to do with that type of music?
That's what I'm saying. The rhythm I created, the music I created is new.
Particular, yeah, but it's still aligned to the type of music that you've created before. How is it different from what you've created when you were out there as a singer, so to speak?
It's different. So you have to listen to it. You have to hear it. Right in my head. But anyway, that's not the point. The point I'm making is that the rhythm in and of itself is not
aligned to a particular song.
Exactly. It's not aligned to a particular style of music or song or anything like that. What I'm saying is that the rhythm is just the rhythm. Cool? I build a rhythm based on how it sounds in my head and based on how I feel at the time, or my vibe.
But the rhythm belongs to a particular genre, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
that's a particular genre.
Look at it.
Is it reggae? Is it dancehall? Is it hip hop? What is it?
Hip hop is an amalgamation of different styles. For example, R&B is an amalgamation of different styles. People, when they created rhythm,
created a new genre of music.
No, not new genre, just a fusion. Yeah.
Okay, so I have this question for you, Brian. What do you consider to be secular / gospel music?
Huh? As in the difference between the two?
No. What is gospel? What is appropriate music for gospel? Music, I'm talking about now. Music, rhythm, feel, beats, genre. What is the appropriate music for gospel?
Yes or no, I'm not 100% certain. Because
for
example,
outside of traditional hymns.
Traditional what?
Hymns.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of traditional hymns, I could say that almost any genre of music will put me in a non-sacred space. R&B, soul, jazz, rhythm and blues. Hip hop, soca, dancehall, country, heavy metal, alternative. So
there is such a genre as gospel music. Gospel is not lyrics geared towards worshiping God. Gospel is an actual sound.
Give me an example.
So.
No. What do you mean by that?
Wait, no. Let me hear the example.
Let me give an example. And gospel music, it came out of Black America.
Right. So I was gonna say you're talking about Black American spiritual songs.
Gospel music. So for example, like I'm trying to remember. What are the choir songs?
Kirk Franklin, Tamela Man.
Kirk Franklin does a lot of R&B. He's not really.
Yeah. He's more.
So you have a problem with that music as well? Or is it just the ones that have to do with gyration?
For example, I think there's one recent one that was very, very R&B. I don't know the name of it. That I'm never really fancy. I find that a lot of some of these songs that try to sound too much like the R&B and they kind of give into the culture of R&B and hip hop and dancehall as opposed to.
So you're saying that gospel music needs to sound one way. Gospel music needs to sound one way.
I think it should sound one way now. I think we can decide or come up with a genre, so to speak, that is really and truly religious. I don't want to use religious.
But how does one create music that's religious?
It will come out of experiences. It will come out of feelings and emotions, as opposed to reappropriating a style in Christendom. I don't know how that got happen or how it could, but yeah, that's my.
So you think that Christendom needs to have its own genre of music? Is Stephen Ray frozen, or is he just thinking?
He look frozen.
We should have our own genre of music in Christendom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me ask you this. One of the things that this conversation led me to, in terms of just thinking about it, was the whole idea of Jesus party. You remember when they used to have the Jesus parties?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to one?
I don't think I have, no.
So the idea being that they use what is attractive to young people to spread the gospel, right? So if you go to, I understand, never having been to one. If you go to a Jesus party, it's like being at a dance, the same kind of ray and rail up and all of that, but it's gospel music, right? But it's dancehall music and it's, you know, whatever, what is gospel. What are your thoughts about that?
And also, we kind of allude to with the whole culture of dancehall. Like, what is the real purpose then of the music if you're going to, because like for example, dancehall culture and pop culture, it's about showboating and showing off and I find that, for example, in the Jesus party, that the same kind of attitudes come out. I was watching a video recently, I think it was a Ryan Mark video, and if you actually muted the sound and just watched it, it looked like a dance. I'm
Right.
not sure. I'm not sure I understand. I'll put it that way. I'm not sure I understand what's going on in people's minds and hearts while they are in a setting like that.
All right, so I have a question for you. What makes music secular or sacred? Is it not the rhythm or the melodies?
If it's not what?
Is it the rhythm or the melodies?
Both.
So I'm not sure if I'm asking the question right. John, reword the question for me. What make music secular or sacred is not the rhythm or the melodies? He has a question mark though, so I'm not sure if he's saying it or asking it. Any action to claim genre is culturally prescribed.
Say that again.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, John, if you're there still, to read the question. Repost the question for me, because York, hey Theresa, Cheryl, Arthur. You should weigh in on this, Arthur, because you're a musician and you're a Christian. You should know what you think about this. But where I'm having a little bit of a problem is religion, and Christianity in particular is a worldwide phenomenon, right? And so the music that comes out of the religion of a culture will be aligned with the culture. Are we gonna say that everywhere we go in the world, Australia, Africa, Europe, Antarctica, wherever we go, gospel music should sound like gospel music? It should just be one kind, just be, you know, you can recognize it as soon as it starts that this is gospel music.
But why does it have to come out of pure expression?
Okay, so that's again, Brian, not hearing you. Why does it have to what?
Why does it have to come out of a secular expression? Why can't it come out of a pure expression of worship?
Because people express in the way that their people expression is cultural. Isn't expression cultural?
Mm-hmm.
Are your culture informed?
Right, so how you express is going to be based largely upon who you are culturally.
That makes it seem as if culture came before Christianity, or
it might have come before your particular Christianity.
Why is it that
because you're a cultural being in terms of timeline, you're a cultural being before you're a Christian. In terms of your personal timeline, you're born coming in one culture, you grew up in another culture. The expression, the way you express yourself, is cultural before you've become a.
Religion is a part of that.
Repeat that.
Religion and spirituality is a part of your culture. It's not like your culture first. You know, hear me? It's not like you come out of culture first and then you so happen to buck up on religion or spirituality. So why is it that you put this culture over there, so religion over here, so and the culture, secular culture, will inform your expression in religion.
No. I don't think that's what I was doing.
No, but that's not what I got from it, Brian. What I got is that when you're born, as Susan was saying, when you're born in another culture. You learn how to speak based on the culture. You learn how to walk based on the culture. You learn how to express yourself based on that culture. So the music that you're in that you're exposed to, the music that you listen to, the music that you grow to understand and to inform how you listen to music in general is going to come from that culture.
But you're still making it seem as if the culture is separate from religion.
No,
it's a part of it, and I think the point.
Yeah, it's a part of it. So because it's a part of it, it's going to inform how
it's going to have it. It's going to be. It's going to.
So why can't you grow in a culture where there's a religious expression of music, as opposed to a secular expression and then a religious?
Why can't the expression of music just be the expression of music?
Exactly.
Secular people use it, and religious people use it.
Yeah, but that's not how it progressed anyways. With hip hop and dancehall and R&B, that's not how it progressed. It's as if we've isolated the expression and now we're trying to put them together and call it culture.
But I don't agree with that though. What I get from it is that there's no way at this point to separate either of the two. So religion has evolved, or the expression I should say, not Christianity or not the belief in Christ, but the expression of Christianity has changed because of how cultures have changed and cultures have amalgamated, how they have come together. Zin? So how I see it is that the music changed. You get me? So from where it is coming from, where it started, obviously isn't where it is now. And it would be you saying that one should keep Christian music or keep gospel music a particular way is akin to saying culture should remain how it was back in the day and not progress and not evolve and not I wouldn't say adapt, but evolve because of how
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that culture should remain static because culture is dynamic. I'm saying we are indeed separating the two. We're separating religion. We're separating it from culture, and we're calling culture secular in not so many words. We're saying that culture is secular, and we're using that secular culture to inform our religious expression. Why is it that music and religious music could not have evolved?
We're not. Are we saying that culture is secular, Brian? Or
no.
Is culture?
Culture is culture.
It's there. It's there.
That culture
it informs secular life and it informs religious life.
Yeah.
We're not saying culture is secular and we're going to take
so religion. Then that the first dancehall gospel music came after secular dancehall. The same thing with hip hop. Why is it that it didn't organically happen just as dancehall just emerged out of the ethos of the people? Why is it that hip hop music didn't emerge out of the gospel hip hop didn't emerge out of the ethos? Why is it that dancehall gospel didn't emerge out of? It came out of another expression. So if we are born and bred in a particular culture, the culture should afford us the opportunity to create a pure form of that religious music, but that's not what we're doing. We are being informed by a secular expression, and we're trying to change it now, and that's why we're having the debate. And the debate will forever happen because it did not organically happen. It didn't happen out of the culture of the people. Again,
so just to throw a little spokes in the wheel, what is the problem with that?
What is the what?
What's the problem with that?
What is the merit of that?
So I understand the world to be a particular way. So because I understand the world to be a particular way, and as you said, let's just go with the point that you're making, that we're using something secular to try to create something pure. Just as that's dumbing it down a bit. But let's say that is the case. All I know is secular. So if I now become a Christian and I want to express myself in a particular way, there's only one thing we know, right? So what is wrong? So that's the question I ask, what is wrong with my trying to use what I know, the only thing I know, to express myself to Christ and express my love for Christ? What's wrong with that?
Firstly, the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So you can't stick to the old things and expect to be a new creature. All right, but I'm not 2-1 preach scripture.
No, man, preach it, man. What are you talking about?
Free is what it is.
We don't mind it. Preach it, man.
But it goes back to the same concern I have, where if it is that you are used to dancehall and expressing dancehall in a particular way.
Sorry?
You are used to expressing dancehall in a particular way.
Okay, so sorry, let me just do something.
It's going to be different.
I'm really not hearing you. Sorry.
There's some breeze that's
So what's that? Where's that breeze coming from? Somebody has a fan on?
Yes. Oi.
All right. So let me John has resubmitted his question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes music secular or sacred?
Come again? You break up the first part.
What makes music secular or sacred? Is it the rhythm, the melodies or harmonies, or is it the lyric? Brian.
It's not just the lyric, it's also the rhythm, the musicality of it. Because you can say anything on a beat, you can say anything on in a particular type of music. But if the music itself is not set apart in a particular way, the music is not intended to serve a particular purpose, then it will be null and void. The lyrics.
So okay. So religious music needs to sound like, and you're saying you don't know what the what is.
I don't know what the what is.
But
I'm not so comfortable with it being appropriation of the secular. I'm not sure how comfortable I am with that.
So is there any particular sound within, I'm not going to say gospel music, but within religious music generally, which sits well with you, Brian, in terms of using for religious purposes?
Well, the usual quote unquote gospel, and I think a new sound that's pretty much emerged in religious music. I guess I call it Hillsong, like Hillsong type singing.
Hillsong is a place, though. It's a group of people.
I know. That's what I say. I guess you could call it, but that sound, everybody's pretty much.
That sound is not to be found anywhere else secularly.
Not necessarily, no.
But you see, here's the challenge.
Isn't it? No, but Hillsong music is is rock alternative, you know.
It's not R&B.
No, it's white music. It's white music.
It's white alternative.
It's soft rock. That's exactly where I was.
White music.
It's soft rock. It's alternative.
So that is also an appropriation, you know. It's just
it's soft rock. It's not heavy metal, but it's soft rock. So that's what I'm saying. That comes out of their musical environment. Let me not say culture. I believe, and same for Black American gospel music. And I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a sound that is not culturally appropriated.
That is not to say that we shouldn't.
Which means
that's not to say we shouldn't.
What could be the pure Jamaican gospel sound, which would be the equivalent of the American gospel sound, would be our revival type music.
Which comes out there.
Yeah.
Jamaica. But I understand what you're asking. Where, as in where? It came out of
So,
a
question again.
I say it doesn't come out of any kind of musical genre historically. It's its own musical genre. Is that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Revival music?
Uh-huh.
Doesn't that originate from Africa?
From where?
Like it wasn't an amalgamation of African music with our cultural music at the time, or
revivalism itself is what do you call it now? A Creole version of African and European influences, and so that's how it really came along.
Right. If again,
that came out of any musical genre, it might be close to mental.
I would. So this is what I'm asking, Brad. It is going to be influenced by some kind of musical experience that already exists. Isn't that the way music works?
Come again?
It is going to be influenced by some kind of musical expression that already exists. Isn't that the way music works?
But still, revival music sounds different. Dancehall gospel sounds just like dancehall. Hip hop, gospel sounds just like hip hop. There's no real difference. If you hear revival music and no say revival, you're not gonna say it's mental music. If it is that it came out of mental.
Yeah, but you're not gonna say is okay.
Did you know that?
When you say revival music, you're speaking about revivalism as a religious practice.
And the music.
So wherever you hear that music, you know that it is that religious practice. You're not going to hear that music with a secular.
In fact, it's now used in secular spaces because of its appeal, so to speak. But when you hear the music, you know, say, oh, revival music. You're not going to question and say, I wonder if we can dance to this. Whereas with the dancehall gospel, you have to listen first. Oh, them say God, we can dance to this. Or you have to listen to the hip hop and then you say, okay, the lyrics them sound okay, we can dance to it. If you have to really think about it before you can use it to worship, I'm not sure it should be used to worship.
So, question: what's the point of gospel music? What do you think is the point of gospel music?
You tell me.
May I ask you a question, sir?
And you answer every question. Back on Stephen Ray.
I'm Jamaican. Answer a question with a question.
With a question.
Gospel music. It's for worship, really.
So, all right. So let's define gospel. What is gospel?
And again, may I say, gospel is not God music, so to speak. Gospel is a particular sound as well. We start use gospel.
No. I'm talking about the word gospel. What does gospel mean? What does the gospel mean? The gospel is talking about the good news of Jesus Christ, right? And I think that based on the definition of the word gospel, I would assume, and based on the shocking the word, gospel music would be anything, or it would be expressing or talking about the good news of Jesus Christ through music, right? Would you agree with that?
It's a particular sound.
He's saying that gospel.
But I don't think so.
Gospel music as a genre.
Gospel music.
Gospel music as a genre of music, he's saying, is a particular sound.
From Christian music.
It's a category of music.
Christian music.
Fair, fine. So what I'm not going from that angle. What I'm saying is that gospel music is telling the gospel through music. That's basically saying it. So if I am genuinely telling the gospel, if I'm genuinely speaking about the good news of Jesus Christ through music, whatever expression of music it is, I don't think that should be a problem. You know what I mean?
But again, if you have a second guess, what is really happening?
So I think what Brian is saying, I think what Brian is saying is, outside of the church, So if you hear a dancehall, if you're in a church service and you hear a dancehall rhythm, you can kind of assume safely that it's going to be a gospel, right? You can safely assume that it's going to be a gospel message. However, if you are out somewhere neutral and you hear that song by Chosen, yeah, Chosen, or if it's Ball Out, what is song name? What the original song name, Brian?
Yeah.
The name. What's the name?
Oh,
Ball Out, man. Ball Out.
Okay, so you don't know which Ball Out it is. As a Christian, you know, say you like the Chosen song and you love real up to the Chosen song. But when you hear it, you have to pause and wait and see which song I play first before you can react. That is a problem.
No, I get that. I get that, you know.
Baptized, they used an original version. You have to say, well, Lord.
That's how you get in church when you wind up when you hear certain music. So my question to you then, in that same regard, then, you see that is taking it from an experience type of experience. That sounds weird, but if you understand me. Let's go back to the Hillsong that you were referring to earlier. If you grew up in America, in let's say America, for example, if you grew up listening to that kind of music, alternative, soft rock, and you then heard Hillsong for example, you may have to second guess in the same breath, if you get me. So all that is cultural, all that is based on what you experience.
I'm not sure it sounds like alternative as much as
it's soft rock though. It's soft rock.
It's soft rock, yeah man, trust me.
It's not alternative music, but it's soft rock. It's what I grew up in high school with.
I found that type of music after I started listening to Linkin Park, you know. So I got acclimatized to Linkin Park, and then from there I heard the type of Hillsong type of music, and I gravitated towards that because I liked Linkin Park. So there, as Susan said before, you'd be hard pressed to find a sound that is purely gospel. If you understand me, it's only influenced by it was born only out of itself, for example, and it never got influence out of anything else. So you'd be hard pressed to find that.
And if that is the case, are we supposed to be okay with that?
Who created music?
God created music.
Same thing now. So he asked you a question and you're answering what? Okay, I can.
Yeah, so we do it. As Brian said, we are Jamaica. We answer question on question.
So if God created music, why is it that gospel music is out of secular creation?
I don't think all gospel music comes out of secular creation.
Huh?
I don't think all gospel music comes out of secular creation, you know. And I don't think all secular. I also don't think all secular sounds come purely out of secular means, because some secular sounds would have been born out of gospel music as well. So, as I said, music is music straight across. It's just based on how you know.
I get that.
I get that.
But what I get is that gospel music, or the types that we're talking about today, dancehall and ting, they came out of a particular expression. And if God made music, then why is it that we can't have God music come first and then the world take it up? Why is it that we never have dancehall gospel first and then the secular people say, oh, this sounds good enough, make we use it? Why is it the other way around?
In Jamaica,
I'm not sure there's an answer to that question. I'm just saying that's something to think about for me.
I get you.
That if God created, why is it that we are being influenced by outside people to create Christian songs?
I don't think that's the only way, you know. I don't think that's the only way, because I have been to a few shows. I've worked with a few musicians who have created their own song. It didn't sound like dancehall gospel. It didn't sound like dancehall. It didn't sound like, but it was clear to me that certain influences were taken. Yes, fine, but the sound didn't sound like a dancehall song, for example. So I've experienced, I've worked with persons who have created their own sound and their own gospel sound, for example, and to say that, and maybe that's not what you were saying, but to say that all of our music, all of our gospel music, Jamaican gospel music is born from dancehall or reggae. I don't think that's right.
I'm not saying all the music came out of that. You rightly said that because and Susan said it as well, that our music will come out of our cultural expression because you're born in a particular culture. But I'm just questioning, why is it happening in that way? If it is that you're going to separate the culture from the religious music, why is it happening in that way as opposed to the other way around?
One part.
Brian, you have to for your PhD thesis.
Don't like it. Nothing that not a good question can be answered. Probably can be answered, yes.
A possible answer to that is that sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying a possible answer to that is that secular music is more pervasive. It's more in your face than gospel music that persons create. That would be totally new. Because I had to go in a particular group and find a few young people who were making the music to actually find that new sound that I was referring to earlier. So when you wake up in the morning on the radio, on YouTube, if you're listening to YouTube, if you're listening to a random man walking by singing something, it's more than likely going to be secular. So I believe that one of the reasons, based on your question, one of the reasons you'd find that it's the other way around, where persons who become Christians or persons who are trying to make gospel music will take influences from secular music, is because that's what they hear first. That's what they are exposed to more, if you understand me. So that could be an answer to that question.
And what just came to me as well is that possibly, and maybe we get flack for this, possibly religion, well, it is actually, religion is not a natural expression.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I want to that.
Worship, so to speak, is not a natural expression. You learn how to worship, you learn based on where you are.
And you learn how to follow Christ as well.
I'm not trying to picture so-called primitive people or...
So let me throw something.
Let's go to on the continent of Africa before slavery. Like, what was religion like? What was music like? And how did religion play into that? And when did religion become a thing so that we need to have religious music, you know?
I wanted to throw this in. I wasn't sure where the conversation was going to go, but I wanted to throw this in at some point. And we're going to wrap up shortly, but I was reading.
Really? I would just start?
It's 9 o'clock. I was reading last week into this week in about David, as in King David. Mm-hmm. And there was a section in 2 Samuel's where the Ark of the Covenant was being returned, and he was worshiping, he was celebrating, he was dancing. And you know, this whole thing about dancing like David danced, where David just danced and clothes dance off and he must dance. And he was dancing, and he danced out of his clothes, as he tends to do. And so he was bare-chested in his worship. And one of his wives, who happened to have been the daughter of Saul, frowned upon his worldly manifestation of worship. She thought it was fun and that he was inappropriate for having done so. And him looked at her and I said, listen, you're not going to stop me from worship. Anybody who see me a worship, they will honor me and honor my worship. What do you think about that, Brian? Because he was behaving in what she would consider to be a kind of secular base in his worship, and she had a problem with it, and he had to shut her down. So
that I guess linked to what we just said about the whole, you know, we learn how to worship, we learn how to, you know, how to be
right. Because so an argument would be that that expression from him came out of him organically.
Yeah.
Came out of him organically based on how he was raised, how he grew up, what was wrong.
How he was feeling in the moment.
how he was feeling, but the expression of it is coming out of his experiences socially and culturally.
Not necessarily the scripture for that.
Somebody else would have the same feeling and not necessarily express it in that way and dance out of them clothes.
The problem comes though when it is that a particular expression is aligned to a particular thing.
Yeah, but she was aligning his expression to baseness and crassness on their culture, and he was having none of it. So to me, my reading of that as it relates to this conversation was that, so the intention is more important than the presentation, I guess.
Well, but the intention for me sometimes is questionable.
How so?
Like looking on some of the videos, it just look like it's not.
How much I make money?
Yeah. For example, I love God. You know that video there with Erica from Mary? I love God. You love God. What's wrong with you? It's a hip hop thing. And she have shades and are like.
Yeah. I get there. Yeah.
Used to when she was saying shackles on my feet, she looked very different in this because she had channeled a particular vibe, and I'm not sure what the intention right there is. Why can't you say I love God and look how you normally look?
Because maybe she's trying to reach people that normally look that way and sound that way and listen to that.
And then what?
She reach them. And then she's able to have expose them to a message.
Yeah, I understand that because Paul kind of did that.
One of the things we have to do, it's always a fine line. It's always a balancing act between the two. But as Christians, we're called to go forth, go out into the world and preach the gospel. Go out into the world. And no. So that's what I'm saying.
We're called to be in the world, but not of the world. So
right. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a fine line because yes, we're called to go out into the world and preach the gospel, but we have to find effective ways of doing so. And sometimes it's hard to we try to toe the line. Sometimes we go over it. Sometimes we stay too far in because, as you mentioned before, Mary singing shackles, take the shackles off my feet. At that time, she probably more than likely was, she tailored her music to reach a particular genre, or not genre, to reach a particular.
Or she tailored her music to what she was feeling at the time, and that time that she didn't feel shackled, that now she feel.
No man, so you can sing about shackles, but the music might sound different. That's what I mean. As Brian was mentioning before, that gospel is as genre. So I'm talking about that aspect. So at that time, the music was styled in that way to reach the youth, so to speak, of that time, reach people of that time. Nowadays, trap music is all the rage, if you get me. Trap is taking over everything. And it has also infiltrated gospel as well. So in that same regard, the artist, in order to reach that particular demographic, she has to, or she feels she has to.
I understand what Brian is saying, it's like waiting on them to do it and then we follow.
Yeah, I get it.
I get that that's problematic, but
But at the same time, why not?
I'd like to see, yes, use up the dancehall, use up the hip hop, but don't look and behave like them. And then again, it's going to be hard because dancehall is a culture, it's not just a music.
Exactly. And it's going to bring out a certain
vibe, a certain feeling. So I guess I don't know where the line should be drawn.
And on that note, speaking of the line, so I feel as if we've talked for an hour and I don't know if we've made any kind of resolution. However, next week, we're going to talk about this some more, and we're going to have some experts who will probably be better able to get to some kind of resolution than we have gotten to. So you cannot miss next week. You got to tune into next week because we're going to continue this conversation with some experts in the business on both sides of this line. both sides of this rather very difficult line tonight. And I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to say, Renee, big up yourself. Renee's holding on the fort, taking care of the health of people. She's still at work.
Oh.
She's taking care of people.
Renee.
Big up yourself, Renee. You don't know what I did there. And I wanted to also say thanks to Christoph. We use our music every week. We love our little introductory video. Christoph Richards. Follow him on his, Lord Jesus. Chris Major Music, I think, is what it is on all the social media platforms. And remember, next week, we're back on the Soul Art by Suzanne Facebook page. So share the video, share the live, like us, follow us. We're at Soul Art by Suzanne on Instagram and Twitter as well. And follow us, Brian Johnson, Stephen Ray Johnson, Suzanne Beadle. Brian narrated the social media, I'm kind of introverted. So I mean, if you follow him, you might not hear nothing from him, except next week, Monday again, but you know. And stay safe.